Welcome to the Sports Guys, another NFL recap, another incredible weekend. We are broadcasting right now during the Monday Night Football game. Right now, Dallas has a 10-6 lead. We had a lot of crazy games from this weekend. How you doing, Robbie?
Doing great. Enjoyed the Madrid game,
I bet you
and there
did.
was a lot of compelling games this week. Some surprises, some usual parity, and some of the teams that we thought were good kind of faltered, and there was that old parity thing came back.
What do you think about the Dolphins with three straight wins? I mean, it's kind of impressive at this point.
Well, they should have been winning more the whole way. Uh,
hmm
I think they've definitely unleashed their best player, who is a Shane,
hmm
and they're winning. So
Yeah.
also the defense seems to be playing with some intensity.
hmm
I think now everybody realizes they're playing for their jobs and they're playing for Mike McDaniel's job. I think they like McDaniel as a person,
hmm
even though they know that he's probably not the best thing for them in the long
hmm
run. I think that they
He's
they
almost
they
like
think
their
that,
friend rather than father. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like
he's like their
they need
friend
more
coach.
discipline. They need more discipline,
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
yeah,
I think Tua's playing a little bit better. I'm still not
yeah.
sold on him long term, but
He learned a
um,
lot this year, I think, with all his mistakes in
mhm.
the media and
and
on the field and
and
everything.
what's
But yeah,
amazing is Waddle plays much better as a number one rather than a number two, so he's
yeah,
playing a lot better too.
he's a good number one. He's not a great number two. He
They're
sort of gets lost.
starting to get one or two of their tight ends involved, which is nice to see.
Hmm.
On the
At
flip
the end of the
side,
day, a Shane is just a dual threat, and
he's
he
amazing.
just he punishes you. He can run the ball down your throat, and he can also receive the ball out of the backfield, and he's taken to the house.
On the flip side, the Commanders lose their sixth in a row. They completely collapsed. Obviously, they're one of the most banged up teams in the league. They don't have their quarterback. They don't have their
Yeah.
receivers. They don't have their starting running back. They don't have really anything. They have a couple linemen out. They're just a shell of themselves, and it's really sad to watch Quinn just try to kind of keep this thing together. But it's tough right now.
I'll be honest, that's why I didn't get too excited about the win. Not only was it in Spain, so all everyone's sleep was off, and all that stuff, and you're out of your routines and rhythms. But you're playing the Commanders, and they're really decimated with injuries. So
hmm
the Dolphins should have won that game, and they barely did. But
What's your take on a couple of the other big games? You had the Broncos beat the Chiefs. That was a huge game for the lead in that division. And you had essentially, I felt like for the first time in a long time, Andy Reid got out coached. That's how I felt.
well, I think that teams are figuring out the Chiefs. I think that I haven't seen the last few games any favoritism in reffing.
hmm
And I know that a lot of people think that that's just conspiracy theory stuff, but it's significant. You'll see a dramatic disparity towards the Chiefs, and I haven't seen that. I think it's almost like the league got the message. We don't like that you want the Chiefs to win so badly, that you're willing to like skew games toward them. That didn't sell well in the public. So I think everyone wants the Chiefs to be graded fairly
hmm
along with everyone else. And it's football's a merit-based thing. And so nobody likes it when somebody's got a thumb on the scale. And I think that the Chiefs have some problems, but I think all the teams do. You're telling me Buffalo losing to Miami, you don't think that the Bills have problems, you know?
Yeah, and they go
Um,
and blast the
they blow
Buccaneers.
they blow someone out this week. So, it's I don't know. There's a lot of parity in the NFL, and I think you go week to week where somebody might be saying Baker Mayfield is an MVP candidate,
Mhm.
and then the next week they lose to somebody terrible. So,
And you know what? It always comes down to quarterback play because in the situation of the Bo Nix, I've been very critical of Bo Nix. He played incredibly well in this game. I thought he's very poised. He made all the right decisions, and Mahomes made two of the worst passes I've ever seen him make
Yeah.
totally inexplicable interceptions. And so a lot of times it just comes down to a couple plays by the quarterback. You look at the Seattle Rams game, there's no way Seattle should have lost that game. They had double the yards, they had double the explosive plays, they had double everything, and yet Sam Darnold makes four of the worst interceptions I've ever seen a quarterback make. And he had not been playing that way this year. And
Yep.
he really hurt his team to the point where they lost by 2 points. They should have won that game.
Yep.
So, quarterback play in the situation with Josh Allen, he was just absolutely unstoppable against the
Yep.
Buccaneers. The Bucks score 35 points and lose, you know.
I know.
So,
I know.
so yeah.
Overall, I would say that there were surprises, but I wasn't shocked by anything that happened. Every surprise only came with mild surprise.
What about my Panthers taking down the Falcons for the second time this year?
Yeah, but understandable with Penix out, getting hurt, and Mooney is hurt.
And Bryce
Um,
Young played really
and
well.
London's playing hurt and out for a couple. Like so, Falcons are a shell of themselves. So and Bryce
Apparently,
Young played well too. So both things happened.
apparently Penix is out for the season, and now Drake London's out for 2 to 3 weeks. So yeah, they're struggling.
They're
You bet about
struggling.
it.
Yeah.
Let's go take a look at the scores. All right, let's do a shout out for our sponsor for tonight, and that's Academy Sports. We've had Academy on board with the program for about 6 months and have always enjoyed working with them. I love the place. I've gotten several pairs of shoes there. I got actually one of my golf drivers there about 10 years ago, and everybody there has been so friendly. Robbie, what do you and your family think about Academy?
We love that place. We get all our sports gear there. It's pretty cool when we get to have our sponsors be people that we go see all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely appreciate the values we find there. My boys are playing three sports right now, and then of course they're into all kinds of other stuff. Um, we're always putting on helmets and going to different, sporting events. The latest, we had to get them outfitted in all new basketball stuff because they grow out of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's been fantastic. They're just so helpful, and I love the selection and the pricing. It's great, and the location's right near my house. So it. I can't say enough good things about what they bring for us.
I totally agree. I love how the store's laid out. I love they have a football section, golf section, basketball section, baseball section. It's just really fun just to walk through there. So, guys, go check out your local Academy Sports store. Check out the Academy app or the website, and go check it out today and get some of your sports apparel that you need. And we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.
So, this is our NFL recap. We're calling it the home stretch. We got 6 games left. The season's really coming into shape. These are some of the quarterbacks we already mentioned. With Bo Nix, you got Daniel Jones, you got Drake May. I mean, who would have thought those 3 quarterbacks would be the talk of the league at the beginning of the season? I thought all of them were a joke. And you got, of course, Josh Allen, the MVP from last year, playing really well this week. Hurts has not been playing great, but his team's still winning. Jared Goff, and they got absolutely blasted this week. We'll talk about that. Jordan Love gets back on the winning track. You have Matt Stafford. A lot of people think he's going to be the MVP potentially this year. That's how well he's playing. Sam Darnold has been playing fantastic this year, except for this week. Had a really bad week. And then Baker had a great week. He just couldn't overcome the Josh Allen train. So a lot of people think one of these 10 quarterbacks is going to win the Super Bowl. What do you think about that, Robbie?
Probably.
2 quarterbacks you don't see on this list is Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. So certainly
Yeah.
they have the capability. But these are the teams that are really in
Yeah, I
position.
think I think I think the quarterback that's going to win the Super Bowl is in this picture somewhere. Just depends on who gets hot at the end.
These are the 10 quarterbacks that have the 10 best teams,
Yeah.
essentially where we are. Yeah. So that's where we're calling it the home stretch. Again, there may be a quarterback not on this list that could get in there, but these are the teams that are the most likely to do it. So let's start with the Patriots and Jets on Thursday Night Football. Travion Henderson again goes off. He's been having a really kind of coming out party the last 3 weeks. Drake May had another really efficient, solid performance. Stephon Diggs played really well. The Patriots defense played well, and they get the 27-14 win on Thursday Night Football. And you had Justin Fields with 67 yards passing. It's becoming a trend for him that he gets under 100 yards. So,
Yep, they've declared that they're going with um, Tyrod Taylor.
are they? Okay.
Yep,
I was wondering when that was coming. Yeah.
they're pulling Fields.
Yeah. He gives you a much better chance to win, I think. So,
Yeah, he's steady, makes good decisions. You can't say enough good things about what the Patriots are doing right now as a team. I mean, offensively, defensively, they're playing in sync. They're playing to each other's strengths. They're doing complementary football. They are achieving success on all three phases, and they're doing it with toughness. They don't really have too many stars, but they come out and they just beat on you a little bit, and they make big plays, and they win all the stat categories.
so how did Vrabel build this culture this quickly? This is his first season. He comes in. They have a pretty talented roster, but not the best in the league or anything. And he instills some discipline. He instills practice discipline. They have a really good training camp. They have a rising quarterback. They have this stud rookie running back, and they're putting together, 9 out of 11 wins. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of nice pieces there already. He's a player's coach, but he's also a serious coach.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little afraid of him. He's kind of a beast. He was very intimidating when he was a player,
Mm-hmm.
and but he's fundamentally sound. There's no way he should have been let go from Tennessee. They're crazy.
Crazy,
Letting him
absolutely
go.
crazy. Yeah.
Didn't
By
make
the way,
sense.
the fact that they're a little afraid of him is not a bad thing in this scenario.
It can be a good thing.
Yeah.
It can
Yeah.
be. It's not automatically a good or bad thing. It's just
Mm-hmm.
it can be a good thing. And in this case, I think it is a good thing. They needed
Yeah.
discipline. They have a lot of youth on that team,
Mm-hmm.
and they needed to have someone that can get their attention.
Agreed. So next game we have the game you already mentioned. This was the Madrid game in Spain. This started at 9:30 in the morning on East Coast, and not much offense if you like offense in this game. Marcus Mariota played a little bit better than he did the week before, gave them a chance to win. But generally, I thought the Dolphins kind of controlled this game, especially in the second half. Goes into overtime, and the Dolphins get it done.
Yeah, I
So
was impressed with the Dolphins defense.
I
They
was too.
got
I was too. I felt like both teams had a chance to win this game. The Commanders really should have sealed this game in the fourth quarter. They couldn't get it done on a couple of drives. And Dolphins go to their third straight. So what do you say about that?
I mean, it's exciting to see them executing well and playing together as a team. It's almost like they got rid of a couple of people, and in
Mm-hmm.
doing so, it ignited the team to make them, really fight together and fight for each other.
That's right. And a
So,
Shane, another incredible game. I
yeah,
mean, I
it's
have him in
awesome.
2 of my 3 fantasy leagues, and I'm so happy because he keeps getting me all these points. So, congratulations to the Dolphins picking up another win. That was great.
It
The
was.
Panthers go on the road. This is the team they had beaten earlier in the year, 30-0. The Falcons, and both teams played really, really hard. I thought that the Panthers really should have sealed the game a couple times in the second half, but didn't do it, and allowed the Falcons to score late and tie it up. And the Panthers get it done in overtime, 30-27. I thought the Panthers defense played really well, especially in overtime. And Bryce Young had a record game. Actually, had the most passing yards in Panthers history, 448 yards, which
Yeah,
is
he was
pretty,
awesome.
which is interesting. His best game as a pro by far. And
Yeah.
Ted McMillan, they call him T Mac. Man, did he have a game! And Xavier Legette played great. Bijan Robinson had a pretty good game too. You got to give him
Yeah,
credit.
he did.
And Michael Penix Jr. unfortunately got hurt, and he's out for the season. He's going to have his knee scoped.
Yeah, he's hurt. London's hurt, even though he'll be back. But still, they're a mash unit.
They are.
And Bijan, can't do it by himself. He can't,
Mhm.
and that's
Really,
that's what they're asking him to do.
really happy for my Panthers. They're sitting at 6-5. They're right in the playoff mix. They're half a game behind the Buccaneers in that division, which is pretty amazing. And I don't know. I can't say enough about what a gutty performance this was on the road in the Georgia Dome. And
Yeah, it
we
was a
got it
nice
done.
win.
It really was.
In
So,
conference on the road. Yeah.
yep, yep. And they've beaten them twice this year now. So this game was crazy because in most situations, the way that um, Baker Mayfield played, the way the Buccaneers offense played, they would win this game. But they were playing a superhuman on Sunday, and that is Josh Allen, who accounted for 6 touchdowns. He had 3 passing, 3 rushing. And he overcame this performance by this kid Tucker that I couldn't believe either. No one had ever heard of this guy for Tampa Bay. But what are your thoughts about Josh Allen putting on Superman cape and getting this one done?
I've been pretty critical of Allen at times over the last couple of years. I've also praised him a bunch this year. I do believe James Cook is normally their MVP. I
Mm-hmm.
think as he goes, so goes the team. This was a case where Allen actually did take them on his shoulders. So this was an MVP type of performance. I don't think we've seen very many of these this year, at
Right,
least.
right, agree.
And I personally don't think we saw very many of these last year. What we saw was a lot of these in previous years, and they would lose. So
Mm-hmm.
what we saw last year was James Cook started to take over and run the ball more, and as he did, they started winning more.
Mm-hmm.
So this is more of an anomaly, but um, I can't say enough things about Josh Allen. What he did was spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
3 touchdowns. You have to go back to like Lou Groza or something like that. The
If
last
you
time it
watch
happened.
these highlights and you're just an unbiased football aficionado who's just trying to learn the game, and you watch these highlights and watch this guy play, your eyes would be popping out of your head. Some of the
Yeah.
plays he made in this game were crazy. Most quarterbacks cannot do anything like this.
Yeah, it was really clicking for him. And the results were pretty impressive.
He's a combination of Cam Newton combined with like Patrick Mahomes. He's like
Yeah.
both sides of the coin. It's crazy. It's a unique skill set. So, and everyone
Yeah.
makes business decisions when he's at the goal line. He's so huge. So,
Yeah.
any thoughts about the Buccaneers losing 3 out of 4? Any concern there? I mean, they're a mash unit.
I still think they look good. I think they look good. They've just been a little falling short. I,
They
I don't
started
think it's
five
time to
and
panic.
one.
It's not time to
Mhm.
panic.
Right. So this game was pretty interesting. It was a 3-0 game at half. Titans. Then they go up 6-0, and everyone's going, "Uh-oh, Titans are going to get their second win of the year." And then Texans defense imposed their will in the second half and just kind of got the offense going a little bit. And they find a way to get it done with Davis Mills. So is this just a case of, Titans are just that bad? They don't know how to close games.
I'll tell you, Davis Mills made some throws. Like
You did.
he
You did.
looked pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
He threw the ball 41 times. I can't stand that kind of stat line. But I was impressed with the throws he was making. He
Mm-hmm.
looked like competent NFL quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Cam Ward, poor thing, honestly, doesn't have much to work with. There wasn't a lot of offense in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but what's happened to Nick Chubb? Like
Yeah.
3 carries for 17 yards. I just don't understand it.
That's a
I
good
don't get
point.
it.
I don't get it
But
either.
but yeah, I mean, Davis Mills played decently, acceptable. And you have the Titans self-destructing sometimes. and
Right.
they had some fumbles and
Did you see that the Titans, their first, second, and third wide receivers are all out for the season now? So
yeah.
you already have a roster devoid of talent, and now you got your top three receivers all on the mend and waiting for next year.
You know what
So
I
I
will
mean,
say though
there's no
is
one to throw to.
they their defense played tough.
Yeah,
They had
mhm,
four sacks.
that's right.
They really brought some pressure. Their defense is fighting for their life, their
Mhm,
professional lives because their offense is non-existent.
exactly right. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. The Texans get it done. What you got to do is just move on, take the win. You're on the road, but didn't play very well, particularly until the second half. This
Yeah.
game was absolutely bonkers. So the Bears now have won 5 games where they are losing in the second half and find a way to get it done either on a walk-off field goal or in the case of the Commanders, you have Jaden Daniels drop the ball inexplicably, not even being hit. And they have all these weird ways they've won games this year. They won on a safety one time, they won on a blocked punt. Um, and they're sitting now in first place in the AFC North over the Lions and over the Vikings and over the Packers. So they're in first place, 7-3, having won 5 games in very strange and unlikely ways. So, what's your explanation for this turnaround? Is this Ben Johnson? Is it, um, just that Caleb's coming along and maturing? Is it that they have more weapons? They have a better roster? What is it?
I think that Ben Johnson is really learning how to coach Caleb Williams. I also think that I have to take a lot of this with a grain of salt, um, because the Bears have no wins against a team with a winning record.
Hmm. That's right.
So the competition, every good team they play, they've lost to. So the truth lies somewhere in between. They're doing better, no question. It's almost like saying, should Virginia in college be in the playoff? Well, they haven't really played anybody. They haven't played top teams.
Hmm.
So I'm not sure they should be, but they're going to earn a spot and then go in there and hopefully not get obliterated. But in the Bears case, you have Ben Johnson doing a really nice job. Caleb's doing better, spreading the ball around.
And they talked
Uh,
about Ben Johnson as a quarterback whisperer, and he really has been. I mean, he's found a
he
way to
has
get
been.
to Caleb,
He has been.
found a
No
way to get to
question.
him.
Well, let's face it. The Vikings are really down right now, even though I think a lot of their defense, I think their offense is really sputtering
McCarthy is
and
not good.
they're struggling.
McCarthy is
McCarthy's really struggling.
yeah,
And yet to win this game, the Bears had to have Duvernay take a kickoff back
right.
and set up the game-winning
And
field goal.
get Santos to kick it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that it's not like they dominated the
The,
lowly Vikings.
to me, the biggest difference of Caleb Williams last year versus this year is that he now is good late. He's now good in the third and fourth quarter,
Yeah,
and he's good
they're
when it
winning
counts.
close games, you
Yeah,
know.
he's good when it counts,
You
and
can
that's the
feel the
big
culture shifting to the positive, and that's good.
one thing. Colin Cowherd said about Caleb that he noticed, and I agree with him, is that number one, he's the hardest guy to bring down of all the quarterbacks in the league right now. He's the number one hardest sack. He is so strong.
Harder than Josh Allen?
That's what he said. I don't know. Josh Allen certainly is difficult, but Caleb Williams does not go down easily. You have to have like 2 or 3
Yeah,
guys to
that's true.
corral
He's very athletic.
him. And the second thing is that he throws such a hard ball, sometimes too hard. And he was saying that 2 of the passes in the game, one of them to DJ Moore right in his hands, but he threw it like 120 miles an hour. He threw it so hard, DJ Moore couldn't handle it, and he's a really good receiver. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think he still has development to go. He's not there yet, but he's so much better than last year. It's not close. He's becoming a competent quarterback.
I think there's a lot of positives going for Chicago, but I think we're getting way ahead of ourselves if we
Agreed.
start talking about them as leaders of a division that's got the Lions in
They
it
have the Lions, they have the Packers, they have all these
and
teams
the
coming up.
Packers in
We're
it
going to
as
find
well.
out. We're going to find
Yeah,
out.
I mean, I just think some realities come in their way and they're gonna maybe
And
be
then
surprised by it or maybe not, but I'm not gonna be.
it's interesting because the announcers that were announcing this game a couple times, McCarthy was so wild and threw it literally to nowhere to no one, and he wasn't even pressured. And everyone's like, "What is going on?" Like they're all looking at each other. And apparently, Justin Jefferson gets so frustrated with McCarthy, he just walks off shaking his head.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
saw him
it's
slam his helmet down.
it's not going well. The chemistry on the team. And
Yeah.
what do you think O'Connell can do to right the ship here?
Well, it's hard
They have
if
a good roster. They have a good
Aaron
roster.
Jones is not healthy, you got a problem. But I would say it starts with running the ball. It starts with running the ball. McCarthy's success starts with running the ball and keeping your defense off the field, keeping them fresh.
Hmm.
Long, slow drives that just grind down defenses. Black and blue division. Play action opens up Justin Jefferson out of double coverage, and you go from there. But
And it also doesn't help that he had four drops, two by Addison. These
yeah,
guys have got to help him out. I mean, the ball's right in their hands,
they
and
have incredible weapons. They have
they're dropping it.
Hawkinson,
Yeah,
Addison, Naylor,
yeah.
um,
Jefferson.
and Jefferson.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
You
And
know,
so my point is, if he does get
and
it there,
Jones running the ball.
which he does occasionally get it into their hands, they've got to catch the ball. They can't have four
Yeah,
drops.
I agree.
That's just killing this kid.
I think
So I mean,
generally they will. I just think
yeah.
that the game plan hasn't been optimal for JJ McCarthy to come back from being
Mhm.
injured and then injured again and being a second year, but all last year he was out. So really he's really a rookie, kind of technically speaking.
Mhm.
So, I think they need to treat him like a rookie. I think you need to protect him with um a game plan and a playbook that's pared down and you use very select types of offensive plays that
Mhm.
work to his strengths and not leave him out to dry on long 7-step drops and stuff.
Well, I'm very excited to see the improvement of the Bears. I kind of like to see them be good for a while, and but I agree with you. I think they're about to get exposed against some of the really good teams.
Don't get me
I may,
wrong. I
I
think
may be
that
wrong. I may be
they're
wrong,
not
but we'll
they're
see.
not bad. I mean, they've definitely
Yeah,
improved. There's no
yeah,
doubt they've improved. They're a
for
better
sure.
team. They're better coached. They have better players. They are harder to play against. They have a better system.
And this
They
was
have
the right coach for
stability.
them. This was the right
Yeah,
coach for them.
I
They
agree.
chose correctly. Yeah. So the Packers take on the Giants. The backup, Jameis Winston, actually plays pretty well, except for he always makes one or two picks that you just can't figure out. And he made a really bad one
Yeah,
here in
yeah.
the end zone. But for the most part, Packers were the better team. Jordan Love got back off the schneid. The offense was rolling. Defense played pretty well. Micah had 1.5 sacks, and they were the better team. So, any thoughts on this one? Packers getting the road win.
Um, Winston had a pretty nice effort. He did make a huge mistake with a pick, but he also got a rushing touchdown, and he put on a hilarious dance. I hope everyone gets to see
I
that.
saw that. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh, they're just really low on talent, the Giants. I mean, you've got not only Stadabu and Dart out, but you let Saquon leave last year. Um, you don't have any receivers to speak of.
Although I thought Tracy ran the ball pretty well. I mean, they got a little
Yeah,
bit
but
of
it
running game
just
going.
everyone's a backup, Everyone
Yeah.
this team feels like it's just full of backups.
Don't you think Winston gives them a better chance than Russell Wilson?
Yeah, I think so. I never thought I'd say that, but yeah.
I didn't think so either until the last couple weeks.
I'll
I
tell you
think.
too, I think now that Dable's gone, you're hearing all these toxic stories about Dable in the locker room. You're
Hmm.
hearing I'm hearing nightmare stories about Abdul Carter's work ethic. and how he just all kinds of stories. I don't know what's true, what's not. Um,
Hmm.
there's just there's more discontent now that they've let the coach go and they feel like they're careening off course with no leader. I
Hmm.
don't know. I think now it's a very dangerous time for the Giants. They
It is.
could corral together, finish the season strong, bring back all your young, talented players that are hurt, and start over. Or you could spiral out of control without your young players being healthy and a bunch of finger pointing and weird stuff going on.
Hmm.
You know, I think it remains to be seen.
Well, I think, the Titans, the Giants, and a couple of other teams are in the race for the first pick. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens. So the rest of the games here, we got Steelers blasted the Bengals in the battle of the 41 and 40-year-old quarterbacks. Flacco versus Aaron Rodgers. Steelers were the best team all day. I mean, they were really impressive on offense, and their defense really kind of got after it. The defense has not been great this year, but they did in this game. One really bad thing for the Steelers is Aaron Rodgers broke his left hand, his non-throwing hand. He's going to get it
His
evaluated.
wrist. It's his wrist.
His wrist, yep, his wrist. Broke his left wrist, and he is going to get evaluated tomorrow to see what the extent of the damage is, if he's going to be able to play with a cast or if he needs surgery. So we'll have to watch that carefully to see what that does for the rest of his season. Going to be kind of hard to be aggressive and try to avoid some of these big sacks when you have your left wrist, broken right now. So, any thoughts about this game?
Yeah, I think they drove Jamar Chase crazy. Uh he definitely they got inside his head with Jalen Ramsey and
And
Jamar Chase spit on him.
spit on him. Yep.
He spit on
Mhm.
him and Ramsey threw some punches and got thrown out of the game. But I think Jamar Chase is going to get suspended, I think, for
He
at
just
least
did.
one game.
He just did about an hour
Oh, he did?
ago. One
Okay,
game
yeah.
suspension.
Yeah, I'm
And
not surprised.
do you know how much it's going to cost him? This is
How
crazy.
much?
With the fine plus the one game check that he gets penalized, five
How
hundred
much?
thousand dollars. Those are five hundred
Wow.
thousand dollars spent.
Wow.
You imagine you make that much money, you miss one
That's a
week,
that's a big
500
mistake.
grand. Yeah, yeah,
He
he
hurt
really
his
did
team,
get in his
hurt
head. It's
himself.
interesting. He doesn't usually get rattled like that. He's usually pretty calm.
I know. They
Uh,
got under his skin.
what do you think he was saying to him? It must have been
Not
something,
sure.
some
Not sure.
jarring.
It looked to me like Jamar Chase was doing the talking. Now, it might have
Yeah.
been retaliatory. It might have been you're just seeing the end of it all, but I don't know. It looked like Ramsey was winning on the field,
Hmm.
and it was driving Jamar Chase crazy. Chase
So,
had six catches for, excuse me, he had three catches for 30 yards. That's not
mhm.
normal.
Flacco threw for 40 times again. I mean, this is getting to be a trend where they
Yeah,
just can't run the ball.
yeah.
And so he ends up having to throw 40 plus times, and then they score 12 points. So Gainwell had an incredible day, a game of his life. He used to be with the Eagles. What's your overall thought about the Aaron Rodgers injury? What that could do to the Steelers?
Uh, they do what they can to protect Aaron Rodgers, but you can't wrap your quarterback in bubble wrap. I mean, did you see the Steelers do the tush push?
I did. Hmm.
He stands back like 5 yards from the mess and just stands there, doesn't do anything. Well, I wouldn't even have him on the field.
I know. Why do you put him on the field?
I
I
don't
didn't
know. I would
understand.
put somebody else on the field.
Did you see the Ravens run the tush push
Yes.
with Mark Andrews and he faked
I
it?
had I have my
He was
notes
there
ready to
for
go.
touchdown.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was beautiful.
what a play that was. I
Yeah,
have to
he did.
say that the Steelers are one of those teams, they're very quarterback reliant this year. And if this is a serious situation, he has to have surgery and he's out, they could be in big trouble. They don't have much behind him.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
Rudolph played okay, but
I
yeah,
mean,
long term, that's
I'm
tough.
not going to say Ravens fans are praying for that, but obviously it'd make their path to the division title again much easier if Aaron Rodgers wasn't in the way. So So this, to me, was the most surprising game of the day.
Yeah.
The Chargers come in with a 7-3 record and take on the Jaguars, who've been up and down every week. And the Jaguars have one of their up weeks this time, and just absolutely blasted the Chargers. Just blew them off
Chargers
the
were
field.
favored by 2.5.
Yeah, they
Whoops.
blew them off the field. And so
Yeah.
Tootin had his best game as a pro. He's a rookie. And Trevor Lawrence, solid, but didn't have to do very much. So, what's your thoughts on Jaguars and Chargers and what happened here?
Well, I thought Lawrence looked actually pretty good. 14 of 22 and touchdown. QBR 62.2. Um, I don't know. Herbert made some mistakes. He definitely had a bad pick.
And I think he had like 88 yards passing or something. Like he
I
usually
like how
gets.
they pulled him out though and brought in Trey Lance.
Mm-hmm.
Like you cut your
Yeah,
losses. We're gonna
right.
not get our franchise quarterback hurt in a meaningless game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was good.
He had 88 yards passing. He had his worst day as a pro.
Yeah.
And Jaguars defense is pretty good. I mean, people don't talk about it, but
Yeah.
it can
Yeah,
be
they get
lost.
after you. They get
Yeah,
after you for sure.
yeah. So this is one of those games, just a head scratcher. I never saw that one coming. 35-6. This game
Yeah.
was, in my opinion, the game of the day. Two
Yeah.
really good playoff teams that are vying for the NFC number one seed. And
Yeah.
Rams win 21-19 at home. We talked about this already, how Matt Stafford's playing MVP level ball. However, the Seahawks outgained the Rams in every category in this game. And the only difference was, and the only reason Seahawks didn't win the game, and really they should have, is Sam Darnold looked like wild Sam Darnold again with 4 picks. So, what are your key takeaways here?
Key takeaways: Devontae Adams, 1,000 career receptions. He's Hall of Fame for sure. 10th TD on the year. Devontae's been a really nice pickup for them, no question. Um, the Rams had the best punt I've ever seen, where the Ram punter kicked it and it literally hit on the 1 inch line and pinned them deep when Seattle was down by 2.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried to drive to get to the winning field goal and they went and missed it. So really, really tough
It
game.
was a 61 yarder, and they were just basically running out of time. So, it was a
Yeah.
tough.
But the
And actually,
defense
what's
was just holding and bending but not breaking, and they were just it was just tough.
it was a
That was
really
really
well
tough.
played game. They're both good
Yeah,
defenses. They're both good
yeah,
offenses. They're both complete teams. They're both complete rosters. I
yeah.
said something controversial to you this morning, and you disagreed with it. And I said I think the Seahawks actually have the better roster, and you disagreed with that. But when I say that, they're very close. I mean, they're kind of almost mirror images of each other. Um,
I think Jackson Smith and Jigba is having a special season where if you were to remove him from that team, um, they're bottom half. I don't think their roster is that fantastic. They have some nice players, but and Jigba ran into a tough situation. You know
mhm,
what's interesting is there's a cornerback that the Rams got from the Commanders,
mhm,
and the guy was terrible. He got actually cut by the Commanders, and
mhm.
the Rams picked him up, and he shut down in Jigba yesterday.
Yep. Although Jigba
And
did have 9 catches, so
he had nine catches, but
if you want to call that
but
shutting down.
well, he shut him down in key moments. There were huge, long
Mhm,
pass plays to him, and this guy made all kinds of breakups
mhm,
plays. He was not constantly knocking the ball down, knocking it out of
mhm.
pure touchdown and
It's
all this
true.
stuff. So really impressive by a guy
This was a
fighting for his.
high level game between two high level teams that are both going to be in the
Yeah,
playoffs with good quarterback play, good defenses, good running games, and great receivers. And
yeah.
that's why I say, in a lot of ways, they're kind of mirror images of each other, these two teams.
It's exciting to see a young guy who, a team gives up on, get another chance and make the most of it. Like he was
Right.
covering in Smith and Jigba one on one
That's right.
and really kind of shut him down. There were times where um he would come off in Jigba and he would guard Shaheed, but for the most part he was mostly on in Jig Smith and Jigba,
Mm,
and he did
right.
really well. So that's a pretty cool thing
It
is
is.
to see that. The Rams
It is.
defense really is put together with uh it's an unusual group. I think they're very talented. They've been really
You know what I noticed in a couple of those
GM's
picks?
done a good job there.
I noticed in a couple of those picks is that the Rams are ball hawks, man.
Yeah.
Everyone on that defense is a ball hawk.
Yeah.
They really have that mentality, that kind of nose for the ball, I guess you could say. So it's pretty impressive. Congratulations to the Rams. They're now sitting in number one seed position in the NFC.
Yeah, they're a good team.
So this game was the return of Brock Purdy. He hadn't played since early in the season, and it looked like he hadn't missed a beat. I mean, he comes on in this game and blows the Cardinals off the field. And I didn't think the Cardinals played particularly badly, but he was just clicking with Kittle. He was clicking with McCaffrey. He was
Yeah.
making all the right
Stars were
decisions,
back.
all the right throws. He can make some throws Mac Jones can't make. And he also is more athletic than Mac Jones. He can run more with his legs. So,
He can do a lot of things that Mac Jones can't. But
yeah,
Mac Jones has looked good,
Mac Jones is
but
good, but
Purdy can be best in the league on given weeks.
he gives them an element they don't have with Mac Jones. So, Jacoby Brissett with a all-time record number of pass attempts for the Cardinals with 57 passes with 452 yards. Again, they don't have their running back who's out for the season, and they just can't run the
Not
ball.
good. Not good.
So, I feel like Brissett's pretty good, but he's just set up to fail with the Cardinals this year. They're just an incomplete roster. So, what's your takeaway about this great return for Brock Purdy?
I think it was the return of what the Niners used to be almost. I mean, Kittle looked amazing. He's catching touchdowns. McCaffrey looked amazing. He's running the ball and receiving and catching touchdowns. Purdy looks in command, in control. Everyone looks healthy. And they ran the score. I mean, they handled them.
Yeah, it was amazing. Very surprising to me that he could look that good and not be rusty, but he wasn't. He was totally in command, and everybody was playing at the peak of their game. So, 49ers sitting
I,
at
I was really
7-4.
impressed with Kittle.
Yeah, he was amazing. Oh,
Yeah,
you talk about Hall of Fame.
yeah, yeah.
49ers are sitting at 7-4. They're in really good shape after all those injuries. They're sitting right in playoff position, right where they want to be. So, um, another guy who should get some Coach of the Year votes, in my opinion, is the fact that Shanahan was able to weather the storm with this team and
Hmm.
get them into this position, and now getting healthier. So,
It's been a
um,
good coaching job.
there's a couple guys that should get votes, but I think he should get a couple votes too.
Yeah.
So Ravens beat the Browns. This was a really weird game. The Browns kind of had control of this game at halftime, and we're up 16-10, and Gabriel was playing decently well. The defense was unbelievable. Myles Garrett might be the greatest sacker I've ever seen in my life. He's on pace for
Yeah,
28 this year.
I
28.
know.
He had 4 sacks in this game,
I
but
know.
Gabriel gets put into the concussion protocol, and in comes something everyone's wanted to see all year. Shador Sanders comes in and had a couple nice throws, a couple nice runs with his legs. Did have a couple sacks and gave up a fumble and an interception. And his last 2 drives really looked pretty rattled. And goes 4 for 16. He had a 15 QBR. I think it's about as bad as it gets. So he ends up emerging from this game. They end up not being able to win against the Ravens 23-16. And afterwards, Shador looked very sad on the bench and had a very sad press conference. So thoughts about this game, Ravens winning another one and Browns with the Shador experiment.
Too early on Shador. It all starts with just getting the reps, getting out there, learning the speed and the power that these guys are bringing at you.
They've already
Learning
named him the starter for next week, by the way, against the Raiders. So he's going to get his first start.
learning how to run the offense, learning cadence, getting the plays into your helmet, making it execute into a play on the field. These are all things that we take for granted, but they're a lot harder than people think, and rookie quarterbacks struggle with it. Um, you know, Cleveland's got some nice pieces, but they're not a very good team.
Right.
And I was surprised that Lamar Jackson didn't do that great.
He had a terrible game. 2 interceptions.
Terrible
He looked
game.
really bad on
And
these
granted,
interceptions.
Cleveland definitely got sacks. They had
Mm-hmm.
5 sacks on him, but I don't know. These are important wins for the Ravens just to keep the ball rolling in the right direction. You don't
Yep.
necessarily need to play your best football right now because you just need to keep amassing wins to try and get in. You want to play your best football when it's playoff time.
They've won 4 in a row. They beat
Yeah.
a division rival in Cleveland. Derrick Henry ran the ball really well.
Yeah, he looked
And
good.
Lamar Jackson has not looked the same since he's come back, but they're winning. So that's all you have to say.
They're asking him to do less, and I think
Yeah.
that that's probably smart.
And is there a player in the league who's being wasted more than Miles Garrett? Miles Garrett and maybe
Yes.
Justin Jefferson.
No,
Those
no,
are
no. Miles Garrett and Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Mm.
God. I mean,
Yeah,
Miles Garrett, he may be the greatest sacker of all time. He may be. And he's on this
I
team that's
agree.
just so atrocious.
But I don't feel that bad because he decided to re-sign with them.
Well, he made the big money and all that, but
But I mean, other people would have paid him the big money too. He had a choice.
he's got to be frustrated. He just has to be.
Hmm.
So, so this game was wild. One of the games we really were anticipating. This was for
Right.
the supremacy in the AFC West. The Chiefs and the Broncos. There was a lot of money on the Chiefs. Everyone assumed that Mahomes would beat the inconsistent and wildly erratic Knicks this year. And instead, just the opposite happened. Knicks played really, really well. Maybe his best game as a pro. And Mahomes looked really unreliable in this game. Made 2 really bad picks. I did have a really nice throw to Kelsey for a touchdown, but for the most part, it was a really close game. Both defenses played well, and the Broncos came out on top. And I feel like, as I told you when we talked earlier, that it was the first time I had seen Andy Reid get outcoached in a while. So, what is your thought about the 9-2 Broncos?
I really don't know if I'd say he got outcoached. I don't know that the Chiefs have seen a defense this good this year so far. Um, I don't really put this on the coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I think that there's
Well, the
an
last time
up.
they saw a defense like this year, they have seen it one time, and it was the Eagles, and they lost to the Eagles. So,
Yeah,
yeah, they've
fair.
lost both games against good
No, no,
defense.
but I would say Denver's is better.
Yeah.
Denver's is a better defense than the Eagles.
And I mean, they lost to the Jaguars too, the Chiefs did. So, and the Jaguars have a good defense. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Broncos are in prime position. They're going to win that division. They're 6-0 at home. So they have a really good home field advantage. They have a very good shot at the number 1 seed. And if they get that, it's going to be snowing in January. They're going to be
Hmm.
really, really tough to beat with that defense. They have the number 1 defense in the NFL. And Sean Payton drawing up the plays, making Knicks a little bit better every week. They can run the ball. And I think the
I love their defense.
Chiefs are in tremendous trouble at 5 and
They
5.
are. They are.
They've got 5 out of the next 6 games are playoff teams. So
They've lost 5. games in a row that were less than one score.
Right, right. And last year they were 11-0 in one score
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
It was completely different this year.
Yeah. In
So
close games, they're losing them.
this felt like a playoff game. It really did. And
Mm.
it felt like the Broncos came out on top. And it felt like they have maybe knocked the Chiefs out of the playoffs. Chiefs have a really hard run to get there now.
Yeah.
So, so Eagles beat the Lions. This was a game where it was all defense.
Mm.
There was very, very shaky offensive play on both sides. The Eagles
Yeah.
and your man, your ex-Dolphin man, Mr. Jalen Phillips, who
Mm.
to me looks like the trade at the deadline is the most impactful because he is just a complete game wrecker. He was in Goff's face all night, and Goff looked incredibly uncomfortable. 14 for 37 in this game. And
Yeah.
Barkley actually got some running going, which was kind of nice to see. And then Jameer Gibbs was really the only effective Lion all night. But this is the way you beat the Lions. We've seen it a couple times now. The Commanders did it last year. You just have to make Goff uncomfortable. He's not mobile. And if you can do that, they struggle.
They struggle. Yeah. I mean, my notes on this game are interesting. The Lions were 0-5 on fourth downs. I think they need to adjust that a little bit. At the end, after the game, um, Dan
Campbell.
Campbell said he doubled down on it kind of. He said we should have converted two or three out of those five. We really
Mm-hmm.
needed to go down there and score touchdowns. And I'm thinking if you had gotten five field goals, you would have obliterated your opponent. So,
Right, right.
um, I don't agree that you always go for it on fourth.
We talked about this last year in the playoffs when he lost it, and the year before. He's done this a couple years in a row, and I keep thinking to myself,
Yeah.
this is a blind spot for him. Like he cannot not go for it
Yeah,
on fourth down. He'll go for it every time. It doesn't matter what it is. He
I
goes
know.
on 4th and 5.
I know.
It's not a good play.
Yeah.
So, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I when they play a big time team, I'm a little concerned that the blueprint's out there to beat Goff, and it's to basically get him off his spot. Don't let him
Yeah.
be comfortable in the pocket.
I mean, a couple of things that I would point to is, by the way, Jordan Davis had three batted balls.
I know.
He was an absolute beast.
I saw that a couple times, and I thought to myself, "Wait a minute, Goff's 6'5". Why is he getting the
Yeah.
ball batted all the time?"
I don't know.
You know? Yeah, maybe the Eagles are just good at it. I don't know.
They're good at it and they're big men, like huge.
Yep. That whole
So,
line is just unbelievable for the Eagles. They're so good.
yeah.
That
And
defensive
then
line.
all that being said, if they had just gone on and done a couple of field goals, and that was one of the worst pass interference calls that I've ever seen.
Yeah, true.
Definitely the worst of the year. That basically sealed the game for the Eagles. Should have been they get the ball back. The Detroit gets the ball back with, a minute left or whatever it was. That decided the game, and I think that was really unfortunate.
So do you think this was just the Lions were playing the Eagles and against everybody else they'll look great? Or do you think that
No, I
there's
think they played poorly on that one day, but we've seen them play poorly once this year, maybe twice, but I think once this year they look pretty bad. And then most every other game they look pretty consistently good. I think they looked bad. Um, and Eagles did just enough. They
the
did
Eagles
just
this whole year, they just don't look impressive and yet they win. I don't know
yeah,
how they do it. Their offense is so frustrating to watch if you're an
anemic.
Eagles
Yeah.
fan. They just can't do anything. And yet they're, sitting right there at 8-2. So
All they had to do was keep it close, score a little bit, and
yeah.
keep the other team off the field,
I'm
and
very interested to
they
see
did
how
it.
the Lions rebound off of this one and see if there's any kind of letdown or if they come back and blast somebody.
stopping the Lions 5 times on 4th down is impressive.
It is. It really is.
I mean, law of averages, they're going to get a couple of those.
I'm surprised the Lions have not implemented the tush push a little bit better. You would have thought that'd be a Dan Campbell play, the
Yeah.
tush push. But let's look at the fantasy football wrap up for your quarterbacks. Josh Allen, 48 points. I was really happy with that this week.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce Young at number 2, 39, had a huge game. Jacoby Brissett, Justin Fields with 22 points. I thought that was interesting because he had a lot of rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Davis Mills, Brock Purdy, Baker, Jordan, and Patrick. So kind of a disappointing week for quarterbacks, I would say, in terms of fantasy this
Yeah.
week.
Yeah. I'd say that there's a lot of great defenses happening this year,
Mm-hmm.
and offenses clicking is fewer and further between.
And a lot more running the ball. You have a lot of running backs this year. Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, running backs, this kid Sean Tucker out of nowhere, 37 points for Tampa because their first two running backs are hurt. This guy gets a chance and just goes off crazy. Michael Wilson. Oh, and what's funny, Robbie, is in my other league, I have Sean Tucker and I have him on my bench. I didn't start him, of
Mm.
course. Michael Wilson has a pretty nice day. Christian McCaffrey, Tet McMillan, Bijan Robinson, Trevion Henderson, Gainwell, McBride, and Kittle. And this category, by the way, is the tight end, running back, wide receiver category. So it's all three. How good is Trey McBride, man? Huh.
Yeah.
He's on this losing team, and yet he's by far Brissett's favorite wide receiver.
And he's going to get the ball.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And Trevion Henderson, I mean, man, his coming out party. And then defenses, Pittsburgh number 1, Cleveland, Jacksonville, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Miami. Look at Miami. Houston,
Love it.
LA, and Denver. Those are your top defenses for the week. How did you think your fantasy team did this week?
Well, not great.
Yeah.
I didn't change out a couple of my guys that last minute couldn't go.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in kind of
Yeah,
sort of self-inflicted wound.
sure.
And the way Sunday went so crazy, I didn't get everyone changed out in time. So
So here's your NFL power rankings for week 12. This is pretty funny. AOC power rankings. Best in the AOC, but do we trust them? That's Patriots, Colts, and Broncos. Teams that will go to the Super Bowl, Kansas City and Baltimore. Broken, Steelers and Bills. Good enough to win a playoff game, Chargers and Texans. Season's over, but they're still fighting, Jets, Dolphins, and Bengals. And then Tankathon is Titans, Raiders, and Cleveland. So what's your take on any of these?
Tankathon.
Pretty fun.
Season's over, but they're still fighting. Jets, I'm not sure if they're still fighting.
Well, they won 2 in a row and then lost
Yeah,
this week. Yeah. I think they're fighting for the coach.
it's bad
They're just not
teams.
very good, you know.
Yeah. It's not
That's
good when you're trading out your quarterback and going to Tyrod Taylor and no one's
and I
hurt.
agree with that. Best in the AFC, but do we trust them? I agree with that. I think they're all three good, and they're all three sitting at 9-2. But do you really trust them in the playoffs? I don't know. I don't know. AFC is not fantastic this
AFC
year.
is not very good.
Yeah, I agree with that. So on the NFC side, Super Bowl contenders are Eagles, Seahawks, LA Rams, and Lions. Winning a bad division is Tampa. Broken, Green Bay. Thinking about the playoffs. 49ers, Vikings, Bears, and Panthers. Still all in, according to Jerry Jones. Their fans deserve better. Falcons, and then Tankathon. Washington, New York, and Saints. Any take on these?
Yeah, I think Seattle should be on the grouping down with the Bucks. I think both of them could get hot. We were talking last week about, are there any teams that right now could get hot and kind of go on a rampage, even though they're
Yeah,
not thought of as a top tier? And in my mind, I wanted to say the Bucks.
right.
I would put Seattle in that with them.
I
I
agree with
think
that.
that the top three are what they are, and then the
Yep.
next tier would be those two, the Bucks and the Seahawks.
And I would put the 49ers above this. I think, especially after this last win, they're not just thinking about the playoffs, they're in very good position. I think 49ers are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think they're going to win their division, though. So they'll be one of those wild cards.
right.
So, you got your memes of the week, points scored through 9 games. This is pretty interesting. Everyone's talking about how they can't win without Ben Johnson, and yet they're right on pace with last year. So, so I don't know. I think they can do it. This guy has more wins than this guy since 2020. That's pretty crazy that Tom Brady had more wins than the Jets in that 5 year span.
Hmm, that is crazy.
Jameis Winston is QB1. I asked you about this, what you thought if he was better than Russell. I personally do. I think he gives you a
I
better
think
shot.
so. I think
A little
so.
more, a little more
He's a
athletic
good,
right now.
good leader.
AJ Brown coming into this game, no, it's a shit show. He was talking about the locker room and about his offense and why it's so ineffective and why he's not getting the ball. And apparently it got so bad this week that the owner pulled him aside. Jeffrey Lurie actually had a one-on-one talk with him in his office.
Hmm,
So he probably was just telling him, hey, look, you're starting to really hurt team morale. You're starting to hurt our cohesiveness.
yeah,
I guess that's what he must have told him because he seemed to kind of quiet down this weekend.
yeah.
Actually had a decent game. So this was crazy. Sam Darnold in the first 5 years of his career was 21 and 35. The last 2 years, he's 21 and 5.
Yeah.
How, how
He
crazy is
gets
that?
gets wins.
Remember you talked about situation. It's all about situation.
Yeah.
And that's the case with him, I think. It just
Yep.
seems like
You go to the right place. Yeah.
you get the right quarterback coach, you get the right offensive coordinator, you get the right coach, and you get the right
And not only you
roster.
get the right people, but you get it for more than 1 year.
Right. That's right.
The
And what
good
a turnaround.
teams, the good teams ship their assistants off because they get promoted. The bad teams fire them and then replace them with another bad offensive coordinator. And then the next year that guy gets fired and they bring in another offensive coordinator. And so yeah, that's huge.
And don't you think he and Baker Mayfield are the poster children of reclamation projects? That sometimes these teams give up on these guys too fast. These
Yes and
highly
no.
drafted.
I don't know if you'd ever have Sam Darnold happen if he hadn't gone the path of like nobody watching and
You think so?
yeah,
Like Baker gets given up on by multiple teams, and then this year's at a Pro Bowl level. He's playing so well.
yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, I
I don't
mean,
know.
this is crazy. The Buffalo Bills cycle they do every year. Get your hopes up, get disappointed, start to believe again.
I, I like that because it's so
I know
accurate.
you do.
It's so accurate.
And this applies to other fan bases too. It's not just the
Oh yeah,
Bills. It's the
Cowboys.
Panthers, it's the Cowboys, it's the Commanders, it's
Yeah,
all those teams, the Dolphins,
Bengals.
but especially the Bills. There's something about the Bills fans. They
Yeah,
just somehow they get over it when there's a win, and Josh Allen gets 6 touchdowns, and then they lose to the Dolphins.
yeah.
It's funny. So this is crazy when you look at Parsons' week last week, and he's stacked up a couple of these in a row where he's not registering a sack or a pressure, or he's just not getting much production. He did yesterday have
Mm.
1.5 sacks, so that was good to see. But what's your take on this? Why has he been virtually ineffective the last couple of weeks?
It's kind of complicated. I don't think the offense has been very good, taking pressure off the defense. So there's maximum pressure on the defense. And then as a defender, you're expected to go out and make it happen. I don't know.
And they're double
It's,
teaming him a lot, so you understand
yeah,
that.
Yeah,
and
I think he
chipping
does
in.
better when he needs other guys on the line that are going to draw some of the double team out.
Hmm. Yeah. I don't know. It's been relatively ineffective when he's making 47 million a year. So this is crazy. The parallels between these two teams. The 2015 Broncos that won the Super Bowl. They had elite defense, frustrating offense, very ineffective. 9-2 through 11 games, and they became Super Bowl champs. Of course, over my Panthers. This year, elite defense, frustrating offense, 9-2 through 11 games. You're seeing some parallels between these two. Kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, they don't have Peyton Manning.
That's true. They don't.
I think this year's defense is better.
Oh, they're so good, man.
I mean, that one had Von Miller, but
Yeah,
um,
this team is really elite. It's true.
yeah,
So our subscriber challenge of the week: which QB will win the Super Bowl first, Robbie? This is a tough one. Which QB will win the Super Bowl first? It can be Baker, Joe Burrow, Drake May, or Justin Herbert. Who do you think has the best shot?
ugh, um,
Tough, right?
probably Drake May.
I think you're right. I was going to say Drake May too. I think they have the best shot, not only getting to the Super Bowl, but he has the best shot of winning it first of these four. Guys, drop us a comment who you think will be the first QB out of this group to win the Super Bowl. So, Robbie, before we start, man, we got to celebrate Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani. Both of them are back-to-back MVPers
Super
in,
exciting. We are
in the
watching a
American
special time
and the
in
National.
baseball.
Can you believe like how good baseball's gotten now with some of these stars?
It's awesome.
Yeah, I know your boys love it too, but I
Yeah.
just wanted to call out and just say congratulations. These guys really are the best of the best in their leagues. So,
Yeah, it
I'm
was,
gonna,
and congratulations to them, you know.
exactly. So, man, I'm going to hand it to you.
All right, let's do it. So there were some great comments from defenses and running backs NFL from last week. So let's go with there's every recap hits different. Love the energy and humor mixed with real insight at Michael Clark.
Man, that's awesome. Thank you, Michael. We're doing our best to bring that to you every week.
And the running backs really carried the show this week. Literally. Great episode as always.
That's awesome. Yeah, Rob and I talk all about how much we love the running back position, how much we love the running game. We love the ground and pound, and the teams that do it well, we really admire. So, yeah, thanks that we point that out.
Let's go back to our um, on-campus review. A lot of comments there.
Hmm.
Um, I think this will be the best college football postseason ever. What do
I
you
tend
think?
to agree with that. When you look at these 12 teams that are going to make it, I mean, they're all really good teams. They're all really solid, good defenses, can run the ball, good coaches, battling it out, good quarterback play. It's going to be really exciting. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, same. I think it's gonna be really cool because I think the committee's gonna get the seating right this year, or much better
Mhm.
anyway.
I do too.
Talent feels so widespread this year at Nico Glass Thomas Jones.
Nico, I agree with you, man. We talked about how Rob and I, a year and a half ago, when we were talking about NIL and transfer portal for the first time, we were just getting to know it, that we were really worried about it, that we thought it might concentrate the talent into a very small number of teams. And it's just really been the opposite. We were completely wrong. It's made college football much deeper in every conference. And you've got teams that are rising now that you never would have expected. So it's pretty cool. What do you think about that, Robbie?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're definitely in an incredible time where there's transition and there's still some predictability. So it's
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with uh, playoffs look interesting this year at Dennis Cook. Same thing.
I'm with you, Dennis. Can't wait.
Too much overreaction about the rankings at Dylan Jones.
Hmm. That's an interesting comment, Dylan. I think that's true. I mean, we talk all the time about the overreaction Monday and about, you know, rankings up and down, and you'll see all the fluctuation every single week. So there probably is some overreaction there. But, we feel like the last couple of weeks, the top 10 have really settled in, and you really know who those top 10 teams are now.
I think so. I think there's a separation. One of one of the previous people that I skimmed by comments said the separation is happening. I think that's right.
Yep.
I think that's
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
The transfer portal changed everything. That was at Frank Patel.
It did. I mean, you didn't have college free agency before. You had pro free agency, but you didn't have college. Once you signed at a school, you could transfer, but it took you, you had to sit out a year and you had to enroll and you had to have your grades in good standing. You had to do all these different things. And now essentially you have one or sometimes two chances at transferring to a different school. You can do it anytime you want, drop of a hat. And
Yeah,
it's really changed things incredibly. So
yeah, I agree. Last one. Um, I agree completely on the ACC chaos at Gerald Myers.
thanks, Gerald. Yeah, it's been a crazy ACC year this year. And what we've seen is teams can knock each other off week by week. We've seen a lot of inconsistency, even from the top teams. So it's been exciting. It's not necessarily good for the ACC to get teams into the playoff, but it's definitely been a great ACC year for sure.
I have contended early on that I think the ACC is a little better than
Hmm.
it was last year. Little bit improved. And it's hard to say because I think that the top teams have slipped down the ladder, so it looks like the whole league is worse. But I
Hmm.
think some of the lower teams are getting better through quick transfer portal improvement.
Hmm.
And so I don't think that the league is worse off. I think it's just things are different.
I mean, you just saw our worst team in the league almost knock off Georgia Tech and score 34 points. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think to your point, even the bottom end teams, the Stanfords of the world, can come up and bite you. They beat Penn
You
State.
know Pitt can
And
beat you. You know that
yeah, Wake Forest.
Louisville is a good
Yep.
team, but they're not in the playoff. They're not,
Yeah.
do you really want to play them?
Even Carolina's beaten a couple teams this year. Stanford's knocked some
Carolina,
people off.
Clemson,
You know,
Florida State started decent.
California's pretty good this year. I mean,
Cal's
Cal's,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. Pitt, Wake Forest has the best defense in the ACC and probably and
Mhm.
one of the top three in the country, probably.
And we're not used to Virginia being 9-2. So I mean,
Virginia is so much better than they've been. No matter what happens, even if they lose
mhm,
out from here,
mhm,
they've just improved. They're more
right,
formidable on both
right,
sides of the ball. They have
mhm.
playmakers on defense, etc. So very exciting, very exciting. Um, somebody was saying that they want they think A&M's going to take it all. So I don't know.
We'll see. I mean, they certainly could. I'm not sure after this past week I feel as good about them as I did before. As I told you, I think that Georgia's now, in my opinion, slipped into the third spot, but I still
Yeah.
put A&M in that top five. I mean, they're right there. So certainly could.
I think teams like A&M who sort of just survive one week know they should blow out their opponent. It can actually be as effective as a loss.
Yeah, I mean, you take them into the film study this week, and you can show them that first
Beat
half
them over the
only.
head with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I just say, you guys played terrible. What were
Yeah,
you
you guys
doing?
got so lucky to get this win. Yeah.
Yep.
So, and that is the mailbag.
Man, Robbie, that was a lot of good ones this week, man. That was
Yeah,
cool to
there was
see.
a lot of good ones.
Thank you guys so much for all the comments. We really appreciate it. We love it. And we love that you're enjoying the content like we do.
Yeah, we certainly do. We've had a blast putting this all together, and everyone knows that it's our talking in the car. And thanks for coming in the car with us.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining tonight. As we said, the theme of the show was the home stretch, and that's really what we're in. We have 6 weeks left in the NFL. We have 2 weeks left in college football, and we're really now in the home stretch. We're right towards the playoffs. We're getting very close. In the next 2 weeks, we will know what the college football playoff looks like. And then, really, in the next 3 to 4 weeks, we'll know what the NFL playoffs look like. So it's a really exciting time as we get towards December and January.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
So, guys, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and join us on our next episode. We really love having you guys as patrons and as people that are on this journey with us. We can't tell you how much we appreciate it as we see more and more of you guys subscribing and viewing and dropping us comments. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, see you next time on the Sports Guys. Take care.
See you.